Hi there. Excuse me. I'm Penny Hunt, and this is Penny Heart to Heart. And I'm going to chat with you today from my car. And I've done this before. I like sitting in the car. It's real quiet and private, and I feel like I have my own little studio right here to talk to you from. I want to talk to you today in this Penny Heart to Heart about my most recent writing, Turn on Your Blind Spot Monitor. And I wanted to chat with you about why I wrote that and what it means to me and some concepts that might give you something to think about. I wrote it because in this car that I'm sitting in now, I have a fancy little thing called a blind spot monitor. So that when I'm passing someone or someone comes up alongside of me to pass me, in my side mirror, this light flashes on. And it indicates to me that someone's on my side. So if you remember, and maybe you don't have a car that has this, that what we call the blind spot, where if we try to pass and there's a car there, we don't see it because they're in our blind spot. And that causes a lot of accidents. So I think it's a fascinating little trick that they've created to help us drive and be safer. And I think it's an amazing addition to any vehicle. In fact, I think all new vehicles have them, I hope, because it's a great thing. We get really, I have gotten really accustomed to watching for that little flash. So I know when I'm passing someone or if someone's coming up on my side that maybe I didn't see them. Because it's not enough to be an irritation or in your face kind of blinding. It is just enough to catch your attention so that you know you should pay attention before you pass or change lanes or that someone is coming up alongside of you. So I think it's an amazing thing. I love it in my car. And so I started thinking about this blind spot monitor that we have in our car and what a fascinating addition it is to driving. And then I started thinking about our blind spots, our personal blind spots, how things happen in our life that we don't see, or maybe we don't want to see. And if you think about that little blind spot that sits right on our shoulder, probably, just like coming up on the shoulder when we're driving, a car comes in our blind spot. If you think of the blind spot and what happens there, and I outlined some examples in my writing. For example, things that we do, whether we do it intentionally or unintentionally. You know, at times we don't show up for people when they really think that we should show up for them, or that we should be there and we don't show up, or we're late, or maybe we just don't know it's that important to them for us to be there and so we don't go. It's in our blind spot. Or if we do things or say things, I know I can say some really stupid things sometimes. And I try not to. I try to be so cognizant of being kind and nice and saying wonderful things to people. But I know I say stupid things. And later I say, I wish I could take that back. Why did I say that? That sounded so stupid. And so when we say it, though, when it comes out of our mouth, it's in our blind spot because we don't realize we're doing it. Maybe we forget to say something we should. We miss an opportunity to say something because it's lost in our blind spot, and we just didn't even realize we should have said it or done it. Another example of our blind spot is when we tolerate things. When we tolerate things from others and from ourselves. For example, I always use myself as an example. I tolerate not always working out every day or exercising like I should. I tolerate gaining a few pounds when I shouldn't. Tolerate that. I tolerate other people a lot because I am a people pleaser and I am always trying to make people happy and I'm always trying to be kind. And so sometimes I will tolerate things from others that maybe I shouldn't. And tolerate things from myself that I shouldn't, because I know better than anyone that we need to be healthy and practice self-care and taking care of ourselves and loving ourselves And sometimes I tolerate myself not doing that. Sometimes I tolerate other people being unkind and I just let it go because I am not a fighter. I don't like to argue, don't like to do things like that, so I will just tolerate it and let it go. And that's okay, but once in a while we need to stand up for ourselves. We need to pull it out of that blind spot that we tuck it into and really address it, especially with ourselves. Another thing I think that falls in our blind spot that I outlined was grace. Because I think so many times we miss moments of grace in our life. And life is so short. It goes like this. You know, we have this much time and we don't know how long that time is. And so it's so important for us to notice the little things. This morning where I live, we woke up to snow. And I've been posting 30 days of positive posts. It was a birthday gift to myself. And so I posted how wonderful the snow was and how beautiful it was. And I asked the question, do you think it's beautiful, or do you look at it like, oh no, it's just going to be shoveling and slick roads and all the negative things that you can think of with winter snowy weather? And I asked the question, and I said, it's your choice. It's your choice which perception you're going to go with, whether it is to me, snow angels, or whether it is to someone else, work, and just a problem. Snow is a problem because we have to drive through it or shovel it or whatever the work means to you. And I think when I was thinking about that, the moments of grace, just to stand for a minute and watch those huge fluffy snowflakes come down and just see the beauty in that, and don't let your mind go to the shoveling or the slick roads. The moments of grace that we miss. Someone smiles at you, and we are so busy in life that we're just going and we pass people all the time and we don't even acknowledge, we don't even make eye contact, let alone smile. The moments of grace when someone does something for you, or when someone calls you just to say hi, or sends you a note in the mail, or the moments of grace that you can do for others. It gets lost in that blind spot that we don't see right here, but we don't see it. So when I started thinking about the blind spot monitor in my car and comparing it to our personal blind spot and how we don't always see things that we should, good and bad, and what we can do to pay more attention. And what if we could just flick a switch and turn on our own personal blind spot monitor so this beacon would shine when moments of grace happen, and it just spotlights it so that we notice it. Or a little buzzer goes off in our head when we say something unkind, or we miss an opportunity to say something kind, that we would have our own monitor that would somehow give us an indicator, give us an indication that something's going on here, that we're either missing out on something or missing an opportunity because it's in our blind spot. So that's where I got the idea. I got it from this car. I got the blind spot monitor idea from this car and started thinking about, wouldn't it be great if we had one of our own? And really, we have the power to do that if we just start being cognizant and paying attention and monitoring our own ability to shine that beacon when we need it to shine, and notice when things happen. We do have our own blind spot monitor, and we have total control. I so love talking to you, and I know that if you're not here, because sometimes I do this in the middle of the day when people are at work, but I also know that you catch it later and watch it later, and then I get emails and messages from people, which I love. And I love hearing examples from you about how you can relate this to your life. So I hope you have a grand day. If you are somewhere that it snowed last night and this morning, I hope you're enjoying that snow and that fresh feeling and looking forward to another new season, because every time the seasons change, it's a wonderful thing. And I thank you for watching. I thank you for joining me. If you did not have the opportunity yet to read my writing, turn on your blind spot monitor. I have linked it in the passage above this video so that you can find it easily and read it if you like. I also have audio there if you'd like to listen to it. But thank you for joining me. This has been Penny Heart to Heart, and I hope you have a grand day. Thanks for watching.